SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, is going to be sentenced on March 28th with a maximum of 110 years behind bars. In this video, I'm going to go over what the government said, how much time he should get behind bars, what John J. Ray III said, and also what Sam Bankman-Fried's lawyer said in response to that. But before I get into all that, really quick, they did officially appoint an examiner, and they have clarified exactly the scope of this examiner, what they are going to be focusing on and what they're going to be looking into, potentially conflicts of interests with Sullivan and Cromwell, and also further investigations into fraud by FTX's employees, and also what FTT did to basically inflate the value of FTX. And again, before I dive into these stories from the government and also from what Sam Bankman-Fried's lawyer said in his defense, we have Voyager saying that they really want their customers to get a lot of value here. Most likely FTX customers will be getting 100% of their claim, which is based on petition day pricing. And it says here that Voyager is hoping that all of the estate stakeholders, not merely a select few, really get good treatment here, equitable treatment. So if you're a Voyager customer, it's still not out of the question that you will get another payment, but we will see what happens from here. So the government a couple days ago put out this 116-page, really intense report going over everything that happened with FTX and ultimately how much time Sam should get behind bars, including just everything. I'm not going to go through this entire document. It would be pretty crazy, but they do say right here that they think that Sam should get between 40 and 50 years behind bars. And before I get to what Sam's lawyer said in response to this massive government attack, basically, I first want to touch on what John J. Ray III said as well, which is not looking good for Sam. John J. Ray III starts out by saying that Sam Bankman-Fried made a lot of lies, saying that there isn't any harm to customers, lenders, and investors because there is like zero loss here. The money was not lost, and all these things that Sam has said over the last year and a half or so. John said that this estate was a metaphorical dumpster fire, and he says that I can assure the court that each of these statements from Sam Bankman-Fried is categorically, callously, and demonstrably false, basically saying that anything that Sam has said is just not true. John said that they were digging through the rubble of SBF's sprawling criminal enterprise. I mean, really intense, damning stuff here. He spent money on luxury homes, private jets, overpriced speculative ventures, and otherwise lost crypto and money to the four winds, disappeared. And even taking into account the potential for achieving anticipated recovery levels, which is by no means assured, and that is true, customers still will never be in the same position they would have been had they not crossed paths with SBF and his so-called brand of altruism. And John J. Ray says that the victims are extremely unhappy with the petition date value. Very true. He says that FTX did not possess the crypto that the customers assumed was held in their accounts. Also very true. A jury concluded that SBF stole the Bitcoin and converted the Bitcoin into other things. Any material return to stockholders is highly unlikely. But here is something that I found pretty interesting. So it says that the estate's team of professionals are the real reason why any assets are available to be provided to the victims or the ex-customers. They say here that it was an achievement in the contested litigation to have customer claims valued as of the petition date. So John J. Ray is saying that that is an achievement, that they are getting the petition date pricing, even though right here, he says victims are extremely unhappy with the petition date value. So I found that kind of a little bit strange here, basically saying that recovery rates would have been substantially lower had they not achieved the petition date. All in all, I don't really know, but at the end of the day, people are very unhappy, at least the people that held Bitcoin Solana, that they are getting their coins valued at the day of petition, which is literally the bottom of the bear market of 2022. So really quick, I want to talk about the sponsor of this video, which is Claims Market. And as you can see here, the price that people and institutions and investors are paying for FTX claims has literally never been higher. So why people have decided to sell their claim is because they want to get that liquidity, basically get that money, and then maybe invest it into Bitcoin and Ethereum. Hypothetically, if you were to sell your claim and then then put that money directly into Bitcoin, and then Bitcoin goes to $100,000, you would get the upside between $67,000 and $100,000. Whereas if you don't sell your claim, sometime maybe this year or next year, you would get maybe an additional 5 or 10%, maybe 15%, depending on the price you could sell your claim. So if you think cryptos are going to go up a ton, that would be a reason to sell your claim. The process for doing so is super easy. All the documents are on the website here on claims-market.com. They are a marketplace where buyers will bid on your claim. So I'll include their link below if you have any questions about selling your claim or you want to inquire with them. All right, and let's get back to the video. And John J. Ray goes on to say that Sam saying people are going to get 100% of their recovery. There's a lot of things that have to be resolved favorably to achieve our, meaning John J. Ray III's anticipated recovery levels, including the subordination of over $9 billion in governmental claims, the positive litigations with the CFTC, SEC, and IRS, where the claims are in excess of $10 billion. And he then goes on to say that there are $23.6 quintillion in claims. Now, the reason why this is so high is because customers could submit their own claim and say that the FTX estate owes them more money than they actually had inside of their wallets. But Mr. Bankman-Fried assumes this is a breeze basically to reconcile and properly dispute all of these ridiculous claims. But John J. Ray says that he is wrong, very wrong. John says there are plenty of things that they did not get back, like the bribes to Chinese officials or the hundreds of millions of dollars he spent to buy access to or time with celebrities or politicians. The harm was vast. The remorse is non-existent. Effective altruism, at least as lived by SBF, was a lie. And the final sentence by John J. Ray III says, and make no mistake, customers, non-governmental creditors, governmental creditors, and non-insider stockholders have suffered and continue to suffer. And what John is saying is that all of this suffering is literally pinned on Sam. What Sam did and what Sam's intentions were. John really lays out, in addition to the government, wow, a really damning and a very intense set of accusations about why Sam should most likely get probably life in prison, 50 years or so. But here I want to finish the video with the law firm representing Sam. They are responding to this massive governmental memorandum here, this 116 pages. They say this memorandum is disturbing, marked with hostility. The memorandum distorts reality to support its precious loss narrative and casts Sam as a depraved supervillain. It attributes to him dark and megalomaniacal motives that fly in the face of the record. It also adopts a medieval view of punishment to reach what amounts to a death in prison sentencing recommendation. This is not justice. They say that there were never losses, which is up in the air. I don't really think that's true. The money has always been available. Assets remain. Each victim quoted in the government's opposition will receive 100 cents on the dollar plus interest. So they're just saying that, yeah, everyone's going to get 100% of their claim amount, which again is not 100% of the coins unless you held stable coins. The government is hell-bent on portraying Sam as a monster, and they make repeated references to his unmatched greed and his supposed ruthless desire to maximize his personal wealth. This is a simple, seductive narrative, and it is also a false one. They go on to say that offenders with no criminal history like Sam are the least likely to reoffend. They say that at the age of 32, the government wants to break Sam Bankman-Fried. The government says that the sentence imposed must disable him from, quote, being in a position where he theoretically, quote, could perpetuate a future fraud. Then they talk about a former district judge that says these overly long sentences that are being imposed every day in our federal courts on nonviolent offenders, he says, we have lost all sense of how horrible it is to spend even 1 year in prison, far away from family and friends, and under a constant fear of an unprovoked attack by another inmate. This former judge says that we could achieve greater deterrence by sentencing Sam Bankman-Fried to receive 30 lashes on the street outside the New York Stock Exchange. If we did so, there would be a hue and cry about the cruelty of the criminal justice system, but 100 years in prison, ho-hum. I find that interesting, and basically what this judge says is that if we did that, 30 lashes, people would cry about the cruelty of the criminal justice system, but nobody will bat an eye at giving him 100 years in prison, which I actually think is kind of true. So that's basically it for the video. I just wanted to make this for you. Again, his sentencing is happening on the 28th. So right now we have, I don't know, 4 days or so, 3 days or so before the sentencing. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Should he get max life in prison for what he did? Or would 5 to 8 years be enough? Or should he get 30 lashes in the middle of Times Square, publicly televised to everybody? Would that be enough? I'm curious to hear your thoughts below, guys. Thanks for watching. Till next time, talk with you soon, and bye for now.